Hello, everybody. So it's Henry. Let's coffee shop talk. So let's go about money and investing. So 6 months to a year ago, I talked about IRAs, TSP, 401ks, whatever they want to put lipstick on that federal pig lips. And I said, hey, I don't do those. So I collapsed all mine. So I put all my wealth into a 4% money market CD with the bank. It's called the Easy CD with my bank. And before you do it, you ask them, can you go in and out of it without penalties, blah, blah, blah. And most likely, if you ask the right question, you can. Don't buy the ones that are 250,000, 100,000, 50,000. Open the $50 one, which my bank has, called the Easy Cert. You open that up, and right now it's running close to 4% with the bank. And you open that up, and what you do with it is you put your funds in there and you start earning dividends on it, 4% on your money. Now, the nice thing is it's your money. You can come and go. I call it laundering because you're going to launder the money. In other words, you're going to pay taxes on your dividends earned at the end of the year. And the money you're putting in there is already taxed. So the government is only going to get taxes on the money that you gain on your dividends. So right now, when I started doing this and putting my money in there, I started out at like $1,500 a month. Now I am up over $2,000 a month of my dividends earned on my money market CDs. So if you can do the math on it, you can figure out how much I got in there and how much I'm making on it. Now, here's the nice thing. At the end of the year, you're going to get a 1099 INT, and then you're going to pay the taxes on that money. If you want to pay forward, you can. You log into irs.com, and then you log into your state.com. And you open your account up and you use your Social Security, and then you can see all the transactions, how much you made, and what you paid in taxes in that account. And you can actually pay forward directly right to the IRS right there. It's very simple to do. They direct deposit right out of your bank. Takes 3 to 5 business days. They pull your money out and the taxes are covered. So you can do that or do what I do, which I hold all my money as much as I can. I claim married and over 4. And that way they take out minimum taxes. And then in the following year, I just do lump sum payments to them via that process. That's how I do it. That way, they're not holding my money, and I'm making interest on it, and not them. That's my choice, and that's how I manage my money. If you're capable of doing it, if you can't manage your money and you suck at doing that, so don't do it. If you suck at managing any kind of money market CD is the way you go. You want to do long-term dividends and invest in that way. And then defer tax payments later. Financially, I don't recommend it. You get yourself caught in a pickle. So you got to know the rules, especially when you get over 50 and you start hitting 60. And at my age, I'm 62. And you got to understand what you can do and can't do, and how your income, your AGI, will be affected in Medicare at 63 to 65. And you got to go and do that research now and understand that mess, right? And you need to start preparing for the bad days when you can. And you also got to understand at 62 with your Social Security, how it's affected by a good income. You're making $26,000 to $56,000 to $100,000 a year. You're not going to get a Social Security check. You can still apply for it. You can still get in the system. And in case you become incapacitated, or your wife's got to take over because you are incapacitated, or you die, which I had a friend that died, and they didn't have their Social Security system set up. And lo and behold, she's struggling now to get his Social Security off of his death and get funding so she could survive. And then he didn't have his money in a trust. I mean, I can go on and on with this. Didn't have the money in a trust, so then she ended up inheriting all this stuff and liquidating everything. And so now she's got another pickle when it comes to money because they didn't do things right. They had it in 401ks and IRAs, and now she needs money to survive on because she don't have his income retirement check anymore. He had dual income, military. He lost all that. And so now she's in a pickle, and she's got to pay taxes on all this money. So anybody that's old like me, above 60, you need to get your ducks in a row, and you need to figure this out now, right, while you're 50 to 60, before you get in a pickle. In fact, the other day I was talking to somebody, he's 64, and he's got all this money into a traditional IRA, and I said, you're screwed. I said, you draw out on that, the government's going to take anywhere from 22% to 40%, depending on your state and your federal, and then your AGI and what your income is. So you kind of put yourself in a shit show pickle. And sorry, I don't know what to tell you. So you need to figure that out. And I'm telling you, you're going to find a bunch of different things on the internet that are going to confuse you. and make you go, I don't understand, but I lived and walked it. So I collapsed in the past 2 years. All IRAs, TSP, 401ks, they're gone. I don't want no connection with the federal government. I don't want the federal government telling me how much I can take out yearly, R&D money, RM money, my money monthly or yearly out of my investments. I didn't want that. I'm done with them. It was a trick pony. That pony's already gone and went across the prairie, so I don't care. So I went and collapsed all my shit. I was financially able to do that. I understood I'm going to pay more taxes. I did it before I'm 62. I did it really before I'm 63. Any income, my money market CDs, because my wife's older, above 67, I put it in her name. So she gets the INT, so it shows the income for her and doesn't affect my AGI when I turn 63, when they start watching me from 63 to 65 for my Medicare. Now, why is that important? Type in Medicare, and if you go over 211,000, your Medicare goes up, where you'd have the basic structure of Medicare at 63 to 65. You stay below 211,000 and you don't pull all your money out of your investments and show income, you will have a lower Medicaid/Medicare payment per month. So you have to watch that. That's another little trick pony they don't tell you about. So I don't think there's enough experts, and I'm not saying I'm an expert. I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and what you do is your choice. That's your money. Just like the disclaimer on investments, you got to do what you think's best for you. I'm just telling you, in this coffee shop talk, you need to look at it now and start discussing this and start looking at all your options before it's too late. And some of you might have been too late already. Sorry, can't help you. I've never done it, so I don't know. I've done it before I got there, so that's why I'm having this discussion now with people that want to take time and listen to what I got to say. And like I said, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you it's right, and I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm telling you what was wrong for me, and it's an action that I took, and you need to look at it now while you're young before you hit 60. Take a look at it. All right, well, that's all I got to say on that. My investments are doing healthy. I'm pulling $2,000 clear a month. Then I'll do my taxes at the end of the year, so I'll probably make off of that 20 grand. And that's 20 grand from my money sitting in the bank that I didn't have to work for and make off the internet. I use the electronic banking system to my advantage. That's what I recommend you do. All right. Have a great day. That's Henry's Coffee Shop Talk out. Have a great day. Goodbye.